Hi everybody, my name is Esha Govilla and I welcome you on the LedX platform. In this video, we are going to study about competition law, and the first topic that I will cover is Introduction to Competition Law. Well, in this course, the learning outcomes for you would be that you will be able to understand the evolution and the formation of competition law in India. You will also be able to determine what are anti-competitive agreements and how does the Competition Commission of India determine these anti-competitive agreements and stops the dominant player from leveraging their dominance in the market and ensures perfect competition is always maintained. So let's start. The first topic that I will cover for you is the introduction and lay the foundation for competition law in India. So when we talk about competition, the basic and the only analysis that we can go about is the definition of the concept of the word market. Now market becomes very important for determination of the concept of competition. When we talk about market in competition law sense, we are only talking about relevant market. But before we dig deep into the definition of relevant market, let us understand what market is. So if we go back to our economics classes, we understand that a market is where there is demand and supply of products or services. Now for you and for your easy understanding, I have divided market into 5 kinds of market. Let's talk about them. When I talk about open market, I am trying to make it clear that there are no entry barriers for the service providers in the open market. That means there are no licensing, there is no labor charges, and it is very easy for service providers to enter the market. So that is an open market. When we talk about regulated market, the other kind, the regulated market is where the government, the labor unions exert a lot of regulatory pressure on the markets. And an entry into a regulated market is very, very impossible. That is why it is called a regulated market, where the government oversees that the entry to the market is not as easy as it would have been in other sort of markets. The third kind of market is a perfect market. It is called as a market equilibrium. Now what happens in a perfect market is that there are equal number of buyers and equal number of sellers. So the buyers have an opportunity to place the price of the product and the services at a competitive price. And the sellers have an opportunity to substitute the product. I would clarify it to mean that they could buy product A, they could substitute product A from product B. So there is an easy substitutable of products happening. That is a perfect market equilibrium. But we all understand that an ideal market, a perfect market, a market equilibrium is never possible. It is not practicable. So the next type of market that I'm going to deal in is monopolistic market. When we talk about monopolistic market, I'm saying that there is only one player in the market. There is only one supplier of goods and services in the market, and it is very, very detrimental to the interest of the consumers, because monopolistic market is very detrimental to the interest of the consumers because that one dominant player has all the capacity to regulate the entire market. They could increase they could increase or decrease the supply of the products. They could increase the cost of the product. Thus, it can be detrimental to the interest of the consumers. The last type of market that I have for you is oligopolistic market. When we talk about oligopolistic market's characteristic is that there are very few players in the market, and these few players of the market can enter into some sort of agreement, which is also called as cartel, and we will deal with it in the later videos. Now they can enter into one sort of agreement with each other and regulate the whole market. So let me give you a live example. We can take telecommunication industry for example. I can on my tip count the service providers in the telecommunication industry. Let's do it together. We have Jio, we have Airtel, we have Vodafone, which is now clubbed with Idea. So these oligopolistic the oligopolistic market in the telecommunication industry, what they do is they have few players in the market. They regulate the entire market. They can enter into anti-competitive agreements with each other and regulate the prices and the variety of products and services that they're supplying in the market. With this, I hope you understand the concept of market and how important it is for the market to have a competition. So it is very important for any sort of market in any sort of industry to have competition. What competition does in the market is that the consumers have a choice to not buy product A but buy product B, which is very important from a competition sense of view. And for the sellers, they also have an option to increase the supply of products or decreases. So competition is very, very important for a market. And that is why we are going to study competition law and deal with all aspects of it.